Today's briefing. WhatsApp warns about a spyware-laced fake iOS app targeting users in Italy. A new entry lands in the known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. New progress share file flaws enable pre-auth attacks. Cisco ships a critical IMC fix with a 9.8 CVSS score. And fraudsters turn vacant homes into mail interception hubs. We'll keep it actionable and focused on what defenders can do right now. Quick context before we start. Multiple vendors pushed patches or advisories, and at least one vulnerability is confirmed under active exploitation. Prioritization matters today. Address known exploited issues, then move fast on critical management plane exposures. First, WhatsApp alerts about a spyware-laced fake iOS app. WhatsApp notified around 200 users who were tricked into installing a bogus version of its iOS app that contains spyware. Most of the targets are reported to be in Italy, and social engineering played a central role. Reports indicate an Italian firm faces action connected to the case. The meaning is straightforward. Mobile endpoints, even on iOS, are in scope when attackers can convince users to trust a counterfeit app. This underscores the risk from sideloading, deceptive install flows, and tampering with user trust. For defenders, clamp down on mobile app provenance. Enforce policies that allow installs only from trusted app stores. Use mobile device management to block unapproved enterprise provisioning profiles, and push targeted awareness to at-risk groups about fake app lures. If you support high-risk personnel, consider enhanced monitoring for unusual mobile behavior, and validate that no unauthorized profiles or apps are present on managed devices. Next, CISA adds one vulnerability to the known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. The entry is CVE-2026-3502, a TrueConf client issue involving download of code without integrity checks. This type of flaw is a common initial entry point and is treated as high risk for federal networks under existing directives. The impact here is that an attacker could potentially tamper with or replace client code to be in execution, especially in environments that rely on user-initiated installations. The operational takeaway is to move this to the top of the queue. Validate your exposure to TrueConf clients, ensure installers and updates are verified and signed, and block execution of unsigned or untrusted binaries. Track remediation against your KEV-driven SLAs, and monitor for anomalous process launches or new executables appearing in typical install paths. Third, new progress share file flaws can be chained in pre-auth attacks. Two vulnerabilities in the enterprise-grade file transfer solution can be combined by an unauthenticated attacker to exfiltrate files from affected environments, with reports also pointing to pre-auth remote code execution potential. The key risk is data loss at scale, because ShareFile often sits close to sensitive content and business workflows. For organizations that expose it to the internet, the blast radius increases. The priority action is to patch to the latest fixed versions from progress immediately. If patching isn't possible in the short term, restrict external exposure, place ShareFile behind VPN or SSO gateways, and enforce strict access controls. Review access and download logs for spikes or unusual patterns. Rotate any credentials or API tokens stored or proxied through the platform, and double-check backups for sensitive repositories. Fourth, Cisco patches a critical integrated management controller flaw. The vulnerability, tracked as CVE 2026-3093 and rated 9.8, allows an unauthenticated remote attacker to bypass authentication and gain elevated access to the IMC. Cisco has released updates. Management plane weaknesses like this are among the highest priority, because compromise can lead directly to system control. Defenders should treat IMC updates as urgent maintenance. Apply the vendor's fixes, isolate management controllers on dedicated networks, enforce strict ACLs, and remove any unnecessary external exposure. After patching, review admin logs for anomalous sessions or privilege changes, and verify that default or legacy credentials are not present. Where possible, ensure out-of-band management interfaces are reachable only from hardened jump hosts. Finally, adversaries exploit vacant homes to intercept mail and hybrid cybercrime. Threat actors are using empty properties as drop addresses, manipulating postal services and synthetic or stolen identities to reroute or capture mail and turn it into a fraud vector. This matters because it bridges physical and digital identity abuse, enabling account takeovers, new account fraud, and downstream monetization that can later touch your customer base or supply chain. For security and fraud teams, tighten controls around address changes and identity verification. Require step-up authentication for address updates. Validate changes against known risk address lists, and coordinate with postal fraud liaisons if available. Monitor for sudden shifts in delivery addresses tied to high-value accounts, and educate customer support on verifying identity when address or SIM-related changes are requested. Stepping back, today's trend lines are clear. Active exploitation continues to target weak links in software integrity and management interfaces, and vendors are shipping patches at pace. Make KEV-driven remediation your baseline, lock down management plans, and push guardrails onto mobile and file transfer surfaces. If this briefing helped you prioritize sharing with your team and dropping a comment on what you want covered next. Stay safe, and see you in the next roundup.